Hello, all, and welcome to Hockey on Tap podcast. This is episode 41. It says "what the f" on there, but I'm pretty sure we were going to go Yager bombs, but that's okay. I'm your host. I'm your host, Bill Dean, and I'm here, of course, with my three co-hosts, Little Steve, Schwim, and Baby Sarah, who just lost her Dutzer. We're brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Sam Wu and a very angry baby. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you would be so kind. Boys, I'm going to ask what we're drinking, but I just want to quickly send her off. The newest member of Hockey on Tap podcast and newest Ranger fan, Sarah Catherine Dean, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. She's a heavyweight, and yeah, she's obviously very happy to be on camera right now.
Welcome, Sarah. I see she's closing her eyes because she doesn't want to see your mug currently.
No, my mug or your mugs, anything in this room.
Probably.
Or if the Rangers were on TV, she'd have her eyes closed too.
Yeah, she like I said, she's a jinx right now. Rangers are 0-2 with her being in this world. Oh, she's going to cry.
Send her back.
So upset about that. Yep.
Send her back.
But
give her a Tampa jersey. She'll feel better.
I will give her to her mom, who makes her happier than I make her. So,
Hand off.
The boys say hi to Beth. Yeah, Beth was a trooper in the hospital. She was fantastic. Baby and mom are healthy. We showed her on football Primetime. And so my sleep patterns are absolutely terrible right now. So that's fantastic. Everything is going well, though. Sam Wu, holy crap, Billy. Yeah. Everything is fantastic in the Dean household, sunshines and rainbows, and obviously, yes. Well, today a rocket came out of her butt, and
does she poop like a Dean?
Well, I mean, so far so good, yes. So I know it's my kid, but yeah. So I'll go first with what I'm drinking. It is a baby bottle. No, it is KCBC Savage Crush Goza. This is actually the first beer I've had in about 3 weeks. Blood orange, passion fruit, sea salt. Pretty cool tiger on the can. So
I think that's a puma.
Is it a puma or a panther?
I don't know. I have baby brain right now, so whatever I say, you can't hold it against me. It's everything's up is down and down is right. And anyways, what are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking the brand new canned Dogfish Head Hazy Ale. Brewed with 4 types of oats, including oat milk, which I thought was pretty cool. So, here it is. Brewed with malted, rolled, naked oats and oat milk. And I don't know if that sounds unappetizing to you. This is actually really delicious. And I think the oat milk actually makes it really creamy because it's like hazy butt creamy. This is pretty great. I'm gonna rank it when I'm finished with it, but
hazy butt cream.
Already surprised. I'm not big on hazy IPAs. I said butt cream.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
I said hazy butt creamy, but it sounded like
hazy butt cream.
Butt cream.
Me.
You didn't add the Y though. There was just hazy butt cream, and I was like, okay.
Well, I'm a fan of hazy butt cream. I'm not that big of a fan of hazy IPAs, but this is really, really good so far.
So far.
Sip.
I'm drinking something called Toxic Earth with some pretty cool artwork yet again. This is a collab between Abomination Brewing and Tox Brewing. It's an Imperial Double IPA. I think it's over 9%. Brewed with a local honey and I don't know. Pretty tasty. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I got to get more into it. I think I just got to keep trying it.
Oh.
If first you don't succeed, try again.
Head out. Keep going.
I guess there was.
I'm gonna keep going.
I just got a little breaking news update from NHL that this is something you don't hear too often. The Stars and Nashville Predators game has been postponed due to a winter storm in Dallas.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, so I was on Twitter, and some guy posted a thing that said a little snow in Texas, and people go crazy. And he's looking out the window of his office building, and there's guys doing donuts in a field with their sports car, and then there's a guy snowboarding down one of like the ramps for like a parking garage. Like, I was like, all right, that's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, people in Dallas apparently have never seen snow. So
what is this substance falling from the sky?
Yeah, they don't.
What?
I guess they don't know how to. I guess prepare for winter storms. I guess like the states that have it so frequently.
Well, I think
hence that major accident they had. Was it outside of Dallas? Was it that 133 car pileup?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yes.
Really, really sad. A lot of people lost their lives and injured.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was say a couple years ago in Atlanta, I believe there was a big snowstorm, and they shut down everything because it was like major snowstorm was like 3 inches. People couldn't do anything, and Chipper Jones actually had to save some of his teammates from like the he took his quad.
Is there anything like Chipper Jones can't do?
Apparently not. Yeah. But yeah, there was a whole big thing about
Melvin's
that. So.
hell bent on logging us out of this podcast right now. He's just going to sleep across the keyboard.
I guess I'll just have to do it.
I might leave
myself.
You have to get your co-host back on camera.
Yeah, it'll be quite the conversation. So, boys, let's get into what's on tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. Steve, why don't you take it away with the COVID news? You so elegantly wrote it all in here. Obviously, tons of teams. My
due diligence.
Tons of teams. So why don't you take it away?
Well, I mean, there's tons of teams that are affected. Many only have like a guy, maybe two, and it's not really affecting the schedule at all. But the big name teams that we've been seeing so far, New Jersey Devils, Philadelphia Flyers, Minnesota Wild, Buffalo Sabres, Colorado Avalanche. Buffalo's actually playing right now, which is cool. But we'll start with the Devils. I know people want to hear about the Devils. So they actually practiced today. I was hoping to get Shorts Guy in here to kind of talk about practice because I didn't read up on how their practice went. They are scheduled to play the New York Rangers tomorrow. Yep. They've played a league low 9 games so far this season, which is crazy. And 13-day pause. So last time they played was January 31st against the Buffalo Sabres, which coincidentally enough, Buffalo, that was the last time Buffalo played as well, who's now playing tonight. But they still have Nikita Gusev, Nico Hischier, Dmitry Kulikov, and Travis Zajac on the COVID protocol list. I'm not sure if they'll be cleared by the time tomorrow. But something exciting for Devils fans, you actually get to see your team play. I know it's been a long time and you haven't played too many games, so that's exciting. On to the Philadelphia Flyers. They still have, I believe, 7 players on their COVID list. Justin Braun, Morgan Frost, Claude Giroux, Jakub Voracek, Travis Konechny, Scott Lawton, and Oscar Lindblom. The team was supposed to return to practice today, but they didn't on advisement from the league. The league didn't think it was a great idea based on the amount of players that they still have on the COVID list. They are now scheduled to return to practice tomorrow. Their next scheduled game is on the 18th, which is also against the Rangers.
Nice.
Which I guess the Rangers are like the guinea pigs for everybody coming off the COVID list here.
Just get us all sick.
Yeah. On to Buffalo, who's playing right now against the Islanders, down 2-1. They got Kruger and Dahlin off the list actually yesterday, and Kruger actually stating that he was scarred by this experience. He had moderately severe symptoms.
Wow.
So not a great experience for him, but luckily, with his age, high risk, he came out okay. But, obviously, the experience was not something he wants to remember. Minnesota Wild still have Jonas Brodin, Brad Hunt, Victor Rask, Carson Soucy, and Cam Talbot in COVID protocol. The next game is actually scheduled tomorrow at LA. Right now it's going according to plan, but I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow on that. And Tampa Bay Lightning welcome Steven Stamkos after being on the list, I believe, for 2 days.
Yeah, he had a false positive, they said.
And he was cleared. Playing tonight, he actually scored.
Sure did.
Which is pretty great. Colorado.
Quickly,
I believe
before
just
so you said 9 games was for the Devils. Obviously, every team's played mostly in between 13 to 15 games. Some of them, 16. And I think actually there's one team has 18. I think 18 games played. Vancouver's played 18 games already.
The Canadian, the North Division is rolling right now.
Yeah, and
they haven't had any.
We'll talk about
besides a couple of scares.
Yeah, we'll talk about the trades later because 2 actually happened. One actually was just breaking with Carolina making another trade with a player they just received. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Colorado back last night after nearly 2 weeks in a 1-0 loss to Vegas. The one positive for their layoff was it allowed Nathan McKinnon, Devon Tays, and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Edouard, I really like how that's spelled, by the way, in case anybody wanted to know. Recover from their injuries, so that was great. So, and also the 1-0 shutout for Marc-Andre Fleury moves him within one of Henrik Lundqvist for 16th overall.
I
know.
And finally, the Washington Capitals are finally back at full strength after 3+ weeks of COVID disruptions, but ultimately lost to Pittsburgh 6-3 for their 4th consecutive loss. So some issues going on in Washington right now, even at full strength, not doing so hot. I think Samsonov he's back, but I think he's conditioning in the minors, I think.
Yep.
But they need him back. I mean, he's got to prove that he's their number one guy. Vanacek has played admirably. In fact, he was Rookie of the Month in January, right? But has since then gone 0-4 with some not so great numbers. So Washington, hopefully Samsonov comes back, hopefully healthy, and hopefully can be the goalie that they hoped he would be. Otherwise, they're looking like they might be in Pittsburgh's situation as far as goaltending goes. By the way, Pittsburgh is now the 4th team in NHL history to trail in each of their first 7 wins. And the leader of that is in their first 10 wins was the Buffalo Sabres in 2013-2014.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously just hockey, slowly but surely getting schedules going. We talked about the North kind of just going full bore. And just looking at some of the, schedules upcoming, it's going to be, starting to get those compact, schedules where, the Devils play the Rangers 4 games and, everybody's kind of, shooting for the finish line. Just looking at the over NHL standings, in the Central, Tampa's at number 1 with 21 points. They're 10-2-1, I believe, 13 games. I'm not going to go all through all of it, but Florida and Carolina are behind them, as well as Columbus with 18 points. Sitting at the bottom of that division is Detroit with 10. You look at the East, Boston at 22 points. They're, I think, the leader in the club. Toronto's leader in the clubhouse at 23 for overall points. But Boston and top in that East, Philly with 18, and at the bottom you have the Rangers, Devils, and Buffalo all at 11 and 10. The North Division, you have Toronto at 23, like I said, Montreal at 20. It's a very heated battle right there. Edmonton following up with 18, and then at the bottom you have Ottawa at 7 points. Everyone thought that Ottawa was going to turn it around, and they've been bad.
I think we thought Ottawa would be better than this. I thought they were going to be great, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad.
Yeah, you figured they would be, neck and neck with I thought neck and neck with Montreal.
I didn't think they'd be the doormat of the league. That's for
Montreal
sure.
is surprising, but I think me and Steven said that they would be our sleeper team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have that, but
they're proving us right.
Yep, and then in the West, Vegas 21, St. Louis 20, and then a lot of teams in the middle there, and then with LA and San Jose at the bottom at 11. Anaheim with actually a winning record at 6-6-3. So
I think Anaheim's one of the, if not the lowest scoring team in the league. Also, they got 2 or 3 1-0 wins.
Yeah, I mean they have goals for, it says, is 30, and that is tied with Minnesota. And 23 is the Devils, but they've only played 9 games, so that's kind of. Buffalo also has 30 goals. So they're tied at the bottom. Obviously, the Devils with 23, but that's because they've only had 9 games.
Buffalo either.
Yeah. So also was looking at just top overall stats leaders. Schwim, you wanted to talk about that maybe a little bit?
Sure. I did basically like a line for each division. Who's the best center, left wing, right wing, D, and goalie.
Cool.
So I'll try to go through this real quick. North Division you got, and we can pit these against each other. North Division you got McDavid, center. Draisaitl's right behind him, but I just went with the highest scoring player.
Wing?
He's probably labeled as a wing also.
Draisaitl right wing. Yeah, right wing, left wing.
But he's came up as center. Ehlers, the top left wing, he's got 16 points. Mitch Marner has 22 points for right wing. And then I went with 2 defensemen. Quinn Hughes has 18 points. And Jeff Petrie, surprisingly, has 15 points. The goalie, Yeah, his record's not all that great. I mean, 7.41, but his numbers he's got 9. Markstrom for Calgary has a 925 save percentage, 2.33 goals against, which I think are best in that division, and he's got 2 shutouts.
Yep.
So that's your North Division leaders. The East, it was a tie for the centers between Backstrom and Bergeron. Also a tie between the left wings, Marchand and surprisingly JVR on the Flyers. Yep. Right wing, here's another surprise: Rust from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That's another surprise.
I would think that for the top right wing in the East.
And it's a surprise because if you look at his line mate was Malkin in the beginning of the season, right? He's up with Crosby.
Yeah.
So you saw Malkin was doing god awful, and I know you're going to say it's bullshit, but there is talks, about him being traded. Whether it's rumors or guys just predict,
literally always talks. It's been off-season banter for the last 3-4 seasons, and then of course when he starts to do bad, he's rumored again. He's always going to be involved in some kind of rumor because people create hypotheticals, and also GMs, they say they're never going to trade players, but they always listen to what the package is for a player.
Oh yeah.
So if the name comes up, if somebody offers something for Malkin, even though GM currently Ron Hextall, if he has no desire at all to trade him, but somebody offers him something, you're going to hear through the grapevine that Evgeny Malkin is rumored to be traded because he's got somebody offered to. So it's always going to be like that. But I don't think I don't know how Hextall is going to do this, but it seems as if, and much to the chagrin of some Penguins fans, I don't think Letang, Malkin, or Crosby are leaving unless they want to.
Do you think one of them will? There was actually, and I don't think this will ever happen, but there was talks about, hey, Colorado could go after Sidney Crosby and bring him in and win a cup. And you're like, he's the last person that would leave that team. Like, all right, fine, maybe you do trade Malkin eventually, or you do trade Letang. Sidney Crosby's not leaving that team ever. Like, unless he'd have to fall over and just leave on his own.
He's another Lemieux. He's going to retire there. He loves Pittsburgh. He's going to do whatever he can to stay there.
And he's already won there. It's not like he hasn't won there. If he's never won there, then I could say, okay, maybe he wants to move on and try to win a cup somewhere. But
Crosby and Malkin are hell-bent on winning one more cup in Pittsburgh right now. That's their goal. So unless they want to leave, which Malkin and Letang's contracts are up after the end of next season.
One of them I could see going, not Crosby.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I don't see it unless they want to go, they're going to stay. Or if by the time they need to make new contracts, they kind of ignore their age and just want a big deal that can't really happen. Which I don't know. You never know. We'll see. And they can't negotiate anything until I think the end of this season. They can't start negotiating a contract extension, I believe. Yep. I don't know how it works, but. Yeah, I mean, you're always going to see these rumors around. I think in order of who would go, it would be Letang, Malkin, Crosby. With Crosby, I don't even know where. Like somebody just decided to be like, hey, you know what? Crosby might want to go somewhere to win a. They created these hypothetical situations where Crosby would say to ownership, hey, in order to help this team, I want you to trade me and get this massive bundle back so you guys can have success and rebuild like in 2 years instead of like 4 to 5. Like he would do that for the organization, be like, no, trade me and get all this stuff back. And it's ridiculous. It's just not going to happen.
We'll get back on to Pittsburgh just because we do have some questions, other than that. But Schwim, so we're talking about Rust at the right wing. Who's your left winger?
Left wing was tied between Marchand and JVR, points-wise.
Right, sorry. Yep.
And then defensemen were Carlson and McAvoy. And the goalie, again, this isn't including anything tonight. This is just up until yesterday.
I'm gonna say you're wrong and say that Fox needs to be in there. He's just been. I know the points might not be up there. He's got 12 or 13.
Well, that's what I'm going. I'm just going by like top scorers. That's it.
All right.
If we could all pick like who we pick our player from each position and D center, left wing, right wing. But I just went by points and for goalies I went by their numbers. Varlamov is 6-2-2, 930 save percentage, 1.98 goals against, and 3 shutouts.
Tied for first.
Yeah, so he's tops there. The central is Pavelski for the center, he's got 17 points. DeBrincat has 16 points. Patrick Kane has 22 points. And then the defensemen are Hedman and Klingberg, two Swedes.
Two tall Swedes.
Two very tall Swedes. And then Vasi, of course. Vasi's 9-2-1 with a 933. He's got the best save percentage and best goals against in the league right now.
Like he couldn't say like Bobrovsky, who's actually had a pretty decent year, Bob.
Yeah, he's had a good rebound season so far, at least.
Definitely better than last. Takes his team and he leaves. He put Rust in for Steve's amusement, but wouldn't give me a Ranger. It's SOB.
No, well the Rangers don't have any leading scores. When
no, that's not true. Panarin has 15 points. I mean, Panarin's been
better than the other guys at that position.
Well, at left wing in the East, what do we got? We said
left wing is Marchand and JVR. They have 18 points.
I mean,
so he's right behind
him over those two idiots. But yeah,
well, yeah, fine. But again, points wise. And then the West finishing out is surprisingly Kopitar is the top scoring center.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Johnny Ham and Cheese is the top left winger. Mark Stone, not surprising, top right winger. And then the defense is a little bit surprising. Makar is still one of the leading scoring defensemen, hasn't played in a bit. And then it's a tie between Chikrin and Doughty.
Yeah, Chikrin's been really good.
He's been coming on. Too. And then Gibson has been I mean, his record, he's barely above 500, but he's got 3 shutouts. He's got a 923 save percentage and a 2.26 goals against on
and correct me if I'm
on
wrong,
an Anaheim team.
All 3 of those shutouts were 1-0. I'm almost positive.
Probably.
At least 2 of them
because Anaheim doesn't score all that much. And he has 2 penalty minutes.
Good for him.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, obviously, I would probably take the North guys just because, I mean, you put McDavid and Draisaitl on a line, it's ridiculous in general, and obviously Quinn Hughes has been very good. And Markstrom, continues to be a very, underrated goaltender in my eyes. I know he's done, really well the last couple stops, but, his name doesn't get bandied about as much as, Vasi and, some of the other guys, Hellbuck. Yeah, that's hey, you can't go wrong with any of the 5, guys that you had mentioned for any of the squads. So,
So Gibson's numbers are better than Fleury's, huh?
Yeah.
How many shots was Fleury have? 3 shutouts too?
2. He's got 2. Fleury's numbers are out of this world.
Yes, and we'll talk about Fleury in a minute because I have some goods and bads from just the overall point. But you talked about defensemen, and there was an article on NHL.com which I wanted to get into. It's a good tie-in, and it was the top U.S. defensemen under 25. So obviously Olympics coming up next year. We're looking to get that U.S. squad to be as fantastic as it can be, and really it's where the defensemen are that that'll be a big push, right? So, you talk about the obvious choices, and Quinn Hughes is up there. You have Seth Jones, you have Werenski. So I think that's 3 guys that are automatically in. I mean, obviously if they take a nosedive or they get hurt, that's a little different. But those 3 would be tops. But you have a bunch of other guys, to be talked about. Mikey Anderson from LA Kings, who's a 21-year-old rookie. He's on the top pair with Drew Doughty. He was selected 4th in the NHL draft in 2017. He leads all Kings defensemen in average ice time at 21 minutes, 24 seconds. 2 assists, 13 games. He's been done pretty well. Jacob Chychrun, we just talked about. First rounder, obviously for the Coyotes. 91 points in 248 games, but 11 points this season, 22-31, leads the team in time of ice on a team that includes Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who's been out with an injury. But still, his play has risen to the level that's showing, why he was taken so high. I'm a really big fan of, Chychrun, so we'll see how he goes, and he could be a guy that you see down the road in the U.S. Red, White, and Blue. Adam Fox, New York Rangers, 4th in the voting for Calder last season. I think he got snubbed, but turns 23 on Wednesday, scored 42 points last year. He has 11 points as of the time of this article. He inherited the number 1 D-man role for the Rangers, playing almost 25 minutes per game. It puts him actually in the same class as Hedman and Yossi for 1, 2, and 3 in time on ice. And then you just watch him day in and day in and night, and it is amazing to watch him move the puck. Just little smart plays he does. He's not flashy. He's not big. He's not ultra skilled. It's just the hockey sense that he has. I mean, it's pretty awesome to see, watching him, every shift. And you always are enamored with what he does. And just defensively, too, where he can go in and make a subtle play and transition right up the ice. And that's the kind of stuff that you miss. So I think Foxy, if he keeps going like this, he'll definitely be one of the top players for the U.S. defense. We talked about Quinn Hughes, 18 points in 18 games, 2 goals, 16 assists. Obviously, the number 7 7th overall pick in 2018. He's third among NHL defensemen in scoring with 71 points in 86 games, trailing Carlson and Yossi. He could be a Norris candidate with the way he's playing. Obviously, the minus, no one really cares about plus minus, but he is minus 11. Yeah, that is telling, though, a little bit. I know he lost his he
winning that award.
He lost Tanev, who apparently was a big factor for him in the way he was playing, but he's picked up the offense right where he left off. And that team's a very good offensive team with, some defensive help needed. Also on the NHL.com list, they had Charlie McAvoy. He's been fantastic. 11 points. He's 23 years old, 103 points in 198 games. Obviously, he's that leader in the defensive clubhouse for the Bruins. Foxy, Jeff Turner. Yes, he was. Zdeno Chara leaving. McAvoy's kind of taking over that role as the number one guy there. I know Grizzlies got a lot of power play time, but McAvoy's the guy that stirs that drink. You have Jake Sanderson in Ottawa, who's looked pretty good in a short, for the NTDP. He could eventually be up there. We have Werenski, who's still, it's amazing. He's only 23, Werenski, and I've heard of him for so long.
He started
but obviously one of the 19, top guys. Right? Yeah. Yep. And then lastly, another Ranger, Keandre Miller. And Steve, you can talk about him. You watched him play. He's been fantastic. He's their second leading scorer among defensemen. Him and basically Fox have led this defensive core. Trouba's been kind of a downer, and you have guys that around them that haven't played as well as they need to.
That's the problem.
Especially with D'Angelo gone. So.
It's bringing those two down, but you watch both of them, and they're both highly intelligent for their age. They're both very intelligent, and they just don't make a lot of bad decisions. They have little, like Keandre, I notice he has tiny lapses here and there, but that's just growing pains, and he'll learn. Yep. But it's nothing concerning. He doesn't have bad habits. He doesn't have a poor work ethic. He's just smart and the future is bright for him for sure. But you guys got to get these two at an improved supporting cast. I'm not looking for somebody, just a whole bunch of stud defensemen to come in and be paired with. Obviously that'd be ideal, but right now you have guys that are just, black holes on defense that are bringing them down. One guy. If your partner is Jack Johnson, for instance, you're in trouble, and it's going to make you worse. And even something like that can get you in bad habits because you're constantly compensating for the other guy, and that could get you into bad habits as well, and bring down your overall game. And also they don't have a very strong defensive-minded offense either. So
no.
There's just not a lot of help in their own zone. But if you single out and watch these two guys play, I think they're going to be great. I think their future is bright for those two with you guys.
Yeah, Lindgren's played okay. Brendan Smith's out there. They've been playing with guys like Anthony Botetto. Obviously, we talked about Jack Johnson, who's been just god awful.
And I know he's hurt. Trouba's not great either.
No,
so
it's been bad.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, so I just saw that article, and I thought it would be pretty interesting to bring up. If that U.S. D-Corps can start to make up some ground, because obviously you look at Canada, and they are world beaters on defense. If you start to get that going,
the bottom, they can make two teams that are better than most.
Yeah.
The JV squad would. silver.
They could win gold. Really, the JV squad. They're that good.
Yeah. But that being said, the United States they can beat them. They're not better on paper, and they never will be. But they have the ability to beat them, just as we saw in the World Juniors.
Yeah, they have the upper echelon talent, especially, you look at Matthews with 12 goals. They have guys that can score, guys that are obviously uber talented. So the U.S. squad hopefully is one of those, not dark horse, never going to be a dark horse, but yeah.
I just hope they can make the right team, and we're not stuck with something that we saw at the World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah. No, that would be absolutely just atrocious. Just give me all skill. If you want to give me that fourth line with some defensively responsible forwards, I'm not looking for a Brennan Dubinsky type. We're not.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And no Tortorella, keep him away.
Yeah. But hey, our boy Brock
going to bench the entire top line.
Who the hell is going to be the coach?
Mike Sullivan?
Mike Sullivan maybe. David Quinn's looked pretty good with young guys. I don't know if that's something that could happen. There's a lot of talent. But if you look in the top, even 10, 15 guys for scores, you're looking at, Patrick Kane obviously is always up there. JVR's up there. Quinn Hughes, Austin Matthews, Brock Besser, DeBrincat. There's a bunch of guys and Johnny Gaudreau in the top 20 that are all upper echelon players. So we'll see how that works out with the U.S. Becoming a powerhouse. Whose biggest issue is who he's been paired with. Yeah, Jack Johnson's just terrible.
Poor guy.
All right, so we talked about points leader Connor McDavid, 28. Also 19 assists for McDavid. Kopitar has actually kind of fallen off when he was up there a little bit. He's got 17 points though. Him and JVR have to be the two, guys you look at and you're like, where did these guys come from? Goals we talked about. Austin Matthews with 12. He's been on fire. Actually, his buddy Jumbo Joe just joined the line last game and actually set him up for his 12th goal of the season. So he's back on the top. Yeah, sorry. So he's back on the top line with those two, Marner and him. So they obviously love Joe up there. Just going through some of the sheet notes. What does I say? 2 big holidays today. NHL Family Day. Lots of NHL players posting pics with family. Some funny notes. Did you know they actually had a tabletop hockey game called Battling Brothers, Phil versus Tony Esposito? And it was just the two of them on this thing, and they you could play a game, Phil versus Tony, and just try to score against each other. So that was funny. And then lastly, and that's why the show title was going to be Yager Bombs. Happy birthday, Jaromir Jagr, 49 years young. Some myths and facts for the great 68. In the 1995 lockout, Jagr played 1 game in the Germany 2 League for Schalke High 87. He posted a 1-10-11 line, 1 goal, 10 assists. The rumor is that his payment for the game was Wiener Schnitzel and mayo. So that was funny. And that would be perfect Jagr. And the fact that he didn't have 20 goals against probably a dog crap team, he just wanted to get assists for his teammates. It makes it even better. He just was setting them up. Apparently, he's been doing 1,000 squats per day since he was 7 years old. That means he's done 15.3 million lifetime squats. So that is bonkers.
I think it'd be more than that.
Yeah, according to Ryan Callahan, for when he played for the New York Rangers, Jagr's water bottle used to be filled with hot tea. So, apparently, Jagr was sipping hot tea throughout the game.
Grabbing his water bottle and spraying it on your face to cool down.
Oh, Spurs!
Oh, my God.
He's the second player ever, Gordie Howe being the first, to play pro hockey in 5 different decades. The first games back in his first game back this season, he had 2 goals, 2 assists with the game winner against the best team in the Czech Republic. Another funny little note: if you rearrange Jaromir, it becomes Mario Jr., which is what he was dubbed kind of in Pittsburgh. Obviously, one of the better 1-2 combos for a team to have. Do did you? And Steve knows this too. Yager actually had his own peanut butter, and you can find it on eBay for $15. I wouldn't eat it, but you could probably find it out there.
It's just peanut butter.
Yeah,
I'll try it.
Well, it's probably old right now too. That's what I'm thinking. You don't want to try it.
Yeah, that was back in the mid-90s.
Yeah. He opened the very first sports bar ever in the Czech Republic, and it's since been shut down. From 1980 to 2001, he was the only other player besides Gretzky and Lemieux to win an Art Ross. 21 years.
Streak was crazy.
That's nuts.
That is crazy.
Three people.
Another funny thing, and this was told by a bunch of teammates, he would never pay speeding tickets. Policemen would be pissed when they'd see the stack in his glove box. I think it was Ferraro said he drove in the car with him, and he asked him to go in his glove box to pull something out, and they just fell out. It was almost like a comedy routine. He lost the Hart by 1 vote in 2000 to Chris Pronger. 1 vote. And Yager's favorite player growing up was Jaromir Jagr, according to himself in an interview, and that was for his dad. Obviously, his dad's Jaromir Jagr Sr. So happy birthday to the mullet, to Jagerbomb. Schwim can't have the Jagerbomb's t-shirt, but
no,
I hope he comes back to play in the NHL because it would be hysterical.
It'd be amazing.
There were rumors that he might come back just for to see what can happen. I did post 2 photos on here. One of him playing now, where you still have the flowing mullet, and you have this big black beard and then gray at the bottom, and then his rookie card, which the baby face and the mullet, and that was one of the classic looks back in the early 90s. And then I also had a little Twitter thing which I'll post on social media about him basically controlling the puck, because Jaromir Jagr was all about puck control, right? You'd watch him play, and he'd have that big long stick, and he just uses ass basically to ward you off. Yep. And I don't remember which team they were playing in this post I saw, but these guys were hacking the hell out of him. Like at number 2 and number 5, wherever they were, just slashing, and you just couldn't break him off the puck. And that's the one thing I remember. He was out there, he had puck control, and that was it. You weren't getting the puck from him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a highlight reel in and of himself. Throughout all those 90s and even into the early 2000s, but just some of the stuff he used to do,
doing all those squats at all that leg strength,
freaking incredible.
Could not knock him off the puck.
1,000 squats a day.
Yep,
that is amazing.
We should all start doing that and see.
Yeah,
who can go the longest.
Oh Jesus. Some good and not so good NHL notes. So Marc-Andre Fleury stopped 29 shots for his 63rd career shutout. Steve talked about that. Winning his 3rd game in 4 nights. He's allowed 2 goals in his last 9 periods to be at or near the top of the league in all goalie stats at 7-1, 1.38 goals against average, and a .942 save percentage. So obviously Marc-Andre Fleury having quite the Jesus.
Oh God.
Oh wow. All right. Back to the good notes. With his first period assist for the Penguins versus the Capitals on Sunday, Sidney Crosby tied Al McGinnis for 37th all-time on the NHL's career points scoring list at 1274. It also has him tied with McGinnis for the most points in league history by a player born in Nova Scotia. Sid's empty net goal also gave him 1,000 career points and 774 regular season games played with Malkin in the lineup. Malkin with 1,000 points as well. Malkin totals with the Sid in the lineup were 342 goals, 543 points, 885 points in 1.14 points per game. I just jumbled that real bad. But basically those two, both just doing really well with each other. Obviously, that's why they're one of the top duos as well.
Matthew scored again. We got a blowout.
He's got deuce.
5-2, Toronto over Ottawa.
Rolling.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, then the not so good. Paul Byron was obviously just put on waivers by Montreal. He has 2 years, $3.4 million left on his deal. The Canes also placed Alex Galchenyuk on waivers after they dealt for him and Cedric Paquette. They instead then sent him to Toronto for 2 players. So Galchenyuk obviously was put on waivers so they could keep him there in Canada so he could then be shipped to Toronto. I'm sure Ottawa wasn't very happy about that, knowing that he was being dealt to Toronto, but that is what it is. Also on waivers, James Neal and Danny DeKeyser. And then
James
a not so good. Yeah, I know. A not so good note. Lafreniere has the same amount of points as Rick DiPietro, the Isles' first overall pick in 2000. In their first 13 games, obviously DiPietro is a goalie, so that's just fantastic.
Oh boy,
I saw that on Twitter. I can laugh at my team. I mean, it is what it is. Injuries. Cale Makar day-to-day with an upper body injury. Pierre-Luc Dubois out for unknown period of time with a mechanism of injury. Steve, you wrote this in there.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what they were talking about?
I don't. This is a direct quote from Paul Maurice, and it's basically what he said was there is no specific instance at any point where he can pinpoint where he actually injured himself. Everything was fine, and after the game, and then he went to the trainer or something and did some sort of stretching, whatever, and then just it came to practice and something was off, and so he was held out of practice, and now whatever the hell this terminology means, it just means that they can't figure out when he hurt himself. Just something isn't right. So he's sitting out, and there's no timetable for his return. So I don't know. I can't tell. It's a Paul Maurice thing. I don't know if it's an actual thing. To be completely honest, I didn't look too far into it, but yeah, that's what the team's calling it. So have fun with that.
Yeah. Jeff did say I didn't see this before, but he did say Matthews with Brady and Matt Tkachuk. I think definitely those two would be really fun to play with on the fourth line. I wouldn't put them with Matthews, but you put a good, solid defensive center and put those two on, you can annoy the crap out of Canada. So not a bad pairing right there. Okay, let's get back.
I don't know if Brady's going to make it, though. I'm still not convinced Brady's going to make the roster.
Not yet, at least.
Probably not. I mean,
I think eventually.
We did do those teams, quite a while ago, but I could definitely see Matt obviously is going to make it. He's been very good for Calgary. I mean, if Brady is able to stick in as a good depth forward, he could make that line, make that team. Artemi Panarin, who leads the Rangers with 15 points, 12 games, out with a lower body injury. Lafreniere moved into a spot with Strome and Kakko. Trades, we talked about it. Carolina traded Ryan Dzingel back to Ottawa in exchange for Cedric Paquette and Alex Galchenyuk, who was then sent to Toronto for 2 players. The outdoor game at Lake Tahoe, and there's a screaming baby, to be played at Edgewater Tahoe Resort without fans. Saturday, 2:20 at 3 p.m., Colorado versus Vegas, and then Sunday, 2:21 at 3 p.m., Philadelphia versus Boston. Philly and Boston always get outdoor games. It sucks.
You know what's weird, though? I thought that there was a lot. They played a lot more, but I think Boston's only played 3 games outdoors.
Really? 3, and then this would be 4?
I don't know exactly what's happening right now, and I'm kind of scared.
Look what you did.
See you guys, and here you go. So don't mess it up. Who wrote it? The Black History Month. Steve, you wrote this in. Do you want to give this one?
I think it's a cool story, and I was gonna do it because I know we have a lot of Devil fans tuning in. You may have even read the articles on NHL.com, but I thought it was a cool story about Arlette, the anthem singer for the New Jersey Devils. Lou Lamoriello was walking down 2nd Avenue in Manhattan one day in 1998 when he was drawn into a restaurant where he heard the Trinidad-born singer performing in perfect Italian, which is really freaking cool. When Arlette came over to say hello, Lou asked if she'd like to sing the national anthem at a game, and the rest is history. She's now been singing the anthem for over 2 decades and is one of the longest tenured anthem singers in the league. Just
pretty cool.
By chance, Lou's walking down the street in New York City, hears her singing, and look, 20 plus years later, she's still singing. Phenomenal voice. I know Sam. I think Sam had her at his wedding, which is also very cool.
That is cool too.
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome story, and in honor of Black History Month for the month of February. Cool story for Arlette, and good for her. And keep going with. She's got a beautiful voice, so keep singing that anthem.
Not too bad. Also, I forgot to say a couple of more Yager's things that I found out. Apparently, Yager cross-dressed, adding makeup, and he did it all for charity. Apparently, he almost halfway pulled it off. A couple of men actually came up and saw him from behind and started talking to him. He looked apparently better than most drag queens. He also, this was a quote that came about him from Matt Barnaby. He said, "When I look at Barnaby in the shower, I feel sorry for his wife."
That was going to be my sign off for the end. Now you ruined it.
I didn't know you had that one.
That's all right. I was going to compare it to you and then, say, like Yager.
That would be a pretty good one. Well, I blew that one. Oh, well. So, yeah, Yager, obviously fantastic. Black, the whole thing with him being blackmailed for him being in bed with that girl, and he basically said, go ahead. Yeah. So a couple stars of the week for this past week. You had Cam Atkinson, Columbus Blue Jackets, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points, including a pair of shorthanded goals in 3 games to power the Blue Jackets to 2-0-1. Obviously, he's 15 career shorthanded goals are the 4th most in the NHL since his debut in 2011-12, behind Marchand, Grabner, and Andrew Cogliano. So Cam Atkinson, a very good week. Second star, Marc-Andre Fleury, 100 of 106 shots faced, 3-1 record, 1.51 goals against, 943 save percentage. Obviously he's helping that Vegas Knights team go off right now. 21 points, being second in the West Division. He also is now, like you said, 16th place in NHL history with one behind Henrik Lundqvist for shutouts with 63. Third star, Brian Rust, 3-2-5 in the 3 games in the 2 games for Pittsburgh. So speaking of Pittsburgh, right? Obviously, news down this week that Hextall would be your GM, I believe, and Brian Burke, or sorry, not Brian Burke.
Brian Burke.
Yeah, Brian Burke, sorry, would be your president of hockey operations, I believe. What are the thoughts in Pittsburgh and your own thoughts?
I think for the most part, from what I hear, everybody's pretty excited. I know that when they were, interviewing candidates for this position, Ron Hextall is pretty much the top of everybody's lists of wants. The Brian Burke thing was kind of completely out of left field. There weren't rumors of interviews. In fact, I don't think there were interviews. I don't know if this, you hear stories of how this happened, and apparently they, Mario just basically said, why don't we get Brian Burke to be the president of hockey operations? And Morehouse was just like, and Burkle were just like, yeah. So they called Burke and asked him, and he's just like, absolutely. So there was like no negotiations or anything. It was just like basically Mario had an idea and Burke was like, yes. And now they're both here. And I hope, I'm looking forward to see what they do. I know both of their mindsets in the past are very different than, sort of very different from Rutherford's, at least. I know Brian Burke is really big on big, heavy teams, which Pittsburgh isn't. They're smaller and fast. That's kind of been their thing for a while. I'm not entirely. There was room. Of course, everything's rumor, so I can't say that everything is for sure what happened. And maybe further down the line we'll figure out what happened. But from what I hear, Morehouse and Rutherford had a pretty significant falling out over the course of the last maybe year or so, and maybe Morehouse involving himself too much in the GM things, and where you would see something along the lines of, Rutherford had a trade in place for Letang, and ownership and Morehouse and Lemieux were basically like, no. But I don't know how much Lemieux has to do with anything with that, because Lemieux was very taken off guard by Rutherford's exit. But from what I hear, potentially the Berkey thing is like a buffer between Morehouse, because Brian Burke reports immediately to Morehouse. Ron Hextall reports immediately to Burke. So there's like a buffer between the GM and Morehouse. So I don't know if that's meant help the organization that way. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I love what Hextall did in Philadelphia in building. So as far as Pittsburgh's getting older, so they're going to have to start building prospects and picks, and something that Rutherford wasn't doing. So potentially he can be there to construct something for the future. And Burke is sort of very much like Rutherford, in which, oh my God, Melvin is just pressing every button. Burke is more of a win now type of guy. So you have a win now type of guy mixed in with a rebuild type of guy. So I'm excited to see what happens. I hope they do really well. And I think for the most part, I think the overall consensus is that everyone's pretty happy with these hires.
Yeah. Not bad. A couple other quick notes and rumors I saw. The NHL is reportedly considering an outdoor game at Lake Louise to start next season, so that would be awesome. Obviously, they see what you're doing with Lake Tahoe. Thank you.
I am so excited for the scenery. It's going to be just cool. A gorgeous.
The Lake Louise thing would be awesome if you could do that with just the background with the mountains right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's definitely going to, hopefully that happens. We talked about some rumors, obviously the whole Malkin thing with the Pittsburgh Tribune saying that, he could go elsewhere. Obviously we think that's some BS right now. Sam Bennett's been a big hot name for Calgary. He seems to come out in the playoffs during the regular season. He's been kind of, flustered with his role, although they did put him on a line with Gaudreau and Monahan, and the three seem to, find some good chemistry. So we'll see what happens there. But Sam Bennett's name has been all over the rink. Canadians, obviously, Byron to the taxi squad. They hope to keep him, but he's most likely going to get claimed or at least maybe be traded. Jack Campbell is still a couple weeks away after his injury from the Mr. Matthew Tkachuk.
I think he just skated, though.
Jack Campbell. Maybe I'm off on this one by a day or so.
I don't know how far he is to returning, but I think he's skating at least.
Okay. Like you said, the Pittsburgh's looking to win with this current group. Carolina and Ottawa are still looking to make moves. Poor Alex Galchenyuk. You just keep looking at how many teams he's been traded to.
In the last couple of years, yeah.
He's going to play for every team. It's going to be awesome.
It's been a wild ride for him.
Yep. Justin
Puyarvi can't find his way either.
Yeah, I know. And he is a very talented player. It's just and he was given a lot of leash on some of these teams, but he just can't seem to really find his role.
And it's not for lack of trying, because the guy is determined to be an effective player. And why it's not translating into games, I'm not entirely sure. But you feel sorry for these guys that really they work really freaking hard, and it's not really their fault that they had so much hype. I mean, I guess it is.
It's a lot of pressure.
They were really good when they were younger, but
hopefully the 15th time is the charm or whatever for him.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you look at a lot of these guys. Sam Gagner is another guy that brings in mind. I know he's had a much more successful career than Galchenyuk, but guys that were drafted very tops in the league, and they seem to just never find that star status. And that's just the way it is right now, especially in the NHL. You're looking for stars right away, especially when you draft high. Guys don't get very much time to kind of show what they can be. So same thing I was just saying. Jesse Puyarvi obviously cleared on his return, and he's another guy that. Whether it's his teammates having issues with them or something, but top guys, they want to see stats right away. So that was a big one, I know. Couple of the ones Toronto's obviously still looking for a defenseman or two. I think it was Elliot Friedman reported that he believed the Maple Leafs were shopping for a top six forward. I don't think they got that in Galchenyuk, but we'll see what happens with him and Thornton. They still have Nick Robertson to kind of fill one of those roles as well. Looking through the rest of the stuff, it's going to be a good couple weeks of hockey coming up. We'll eventually have those outdoor games. Toronto, Boston, Vegas, they all seem to be, flying at just the right time. Tampa 2. You guys got any other quick notes before we head out a little bit?
Tampa v. Dallas in a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final this week.
That should be pretty good. The Tampa looks like garbage tonight, but that's all right. Getting back to Sam Bennett real quick. Somebody should acquire him just for his mustache alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
He has one of the best friggin' mustaches in the damn league.
I wonder if his mustache comes with a trade, though.
Ugh. If he gets traded to the Islanders or something, Lamoureux will make him shave it.
And his sideburns.
Yeah. All the way up to the top of his head. No, but that thing is fantastic. It's like what's his face who used to be on Calgary, who had the big mustache.
Yeah, Lonnie McDonald.
McDonald, yeah.
Lanny McDonald, yeah.
No, that's it's like bringing that
definitely back. Anything else, boys?
I finished my beer. It's tasty.
I'm almost done with mine.
It's nice.
Okay.
I still have half left. I have not drank in a while.
I don't know where Shorts guy is. I can't see my shirt.
Oh, Millpool. I like it. That is fantastic.
And who got you that shirt?
This guy. Melvin.
This guy.
Oh.
Melvin.
Not Melvin.
Yeah. Melvin is very, very generous. Tune
in next week where Melvin will be sporting his new haircut.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
Ooh, what's gonna happen?
I don't know yet. He's going to the groomers on Saturday. It's gonna be a surprise. He doesn't even know about it.
All right, so my one trivia question before we head out. How many teams have never won the Stanley Cup?
Never won the Cup.
Are we including like defunct
Vegas.
teams and teams that don't exist anymore?
Just give me a number of teams that I actually don't have that. Yeah, I'll go with current.
Fine. On the list.
Christ.
Just a number.
5.
No.
It's way more than that. Yeah, I was going to say like 15 or 20.
11.
Like total?
Teams. 11 teams have never won the Stanley Cup. That are currently playing, yes.
Now what? My God, you're greasy.
Grease boy. Oh boy.
Right,
do we know who? Do we have the list or no?
I don't have the teams. I'll have to get it later. I just was looking up hockey trivia because obviously didn't do my homework before this to really screw you guys over.
Slacker. It's like you have a child or something.
I know. It's like I have an excuse.
It's like you're distracted by something brand new in your life.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, and alive. Yes, she's alive, as you can hear, I'm sure, from the feedback upstairs. It's 9 o'clock is feeding time, so Beth, I'm sure, is trying to do this all on her own. I just saw Wayne Gretzky's net worth is $200 million. I actually would have thought it would be more. But
yeah, I don't know what kind of royalties is he still collecting. You think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he gets a lot of public,
probably invests well in GameStop.
I mean, he owns Phoenix, right, or part of Phoenix still. Does
he still? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he still owned part of Phoenix.
Does anybody make money off of the Arizona Coyotes?
I can't imagine that whole organization's got to be a total loss. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean,
firing people all over the place. They're have little to no success.
I was looking at some of these. So I was looking up trivia questions, right? And I pulled up this random site, Kedaddle. I don't even know what these guys do, but it's apparently terrible. Some of the questions: how many people are part of one NHL team? 20 players, people? Right?
Just players, or are they talking about coaches?
Players.
Yeah, or the entire organization?
No, I guess just players. So it would be 20 on an NHL roster at game time, and 23 can obviously be on the team at once for the roster management. Here's the second question: how many teams are in the NHL?
How many states are there in the United States?
Yeah, and then here this is the question: who is awarded
the Stanley Cup? How many fingers are on a human hand?
Yeah.
Who
is awarded the Stanley Cup? It says the Stanley Cup is awarded annually to the National Hockey League playoff winner. This is a question. We can just do this as
who won ask those questions. We'll be great then. We'll look like geniuses.
Yeah, like, who won the Stanley Cup in 2020? Obviously Tampa. Who are the finalists? Tampa and Stars. How many teams never won the Cup? 11. How many times did Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup? You guys actually have that one?
24.
24.
Was that many? Wow.
Yep. What scheduling system is used in hockey? Apparently it's round robin. Which NHL player is called the GOAT?
Gretzky.
Yep. Which team has the longest Stanley Cup winning streak?
The Canadians.
Canadians.
Or was it Wait, how many did they have? Because the Islanders had 4. What did the Canadians have? 6?
I think they won like 6, yeah. Who are the original NHL teams? Original 6.
It's crazy. The Islanders have 4 Stanley Cup wins, and they were all in a row.
Yes, in a row, yeah.
What happens when you shoot the puck at a goalie and it doesn't go in the net? What is that called?
A Schwim.
Oh. Schwim. Here's a question. Which NHL player is known to goal 50 goals in 50 games?
How do you goal 50 goals in 50 games?
I don't know, but it has Mario Lemieux as the answer. Yeah, it has Mario Lemieux as the answer. I thought it would be either Hull or Lemieux or Hull or Gretzky, but all right, whatever.
And Bossy.
Gretzky did in less than 50.
It's a lot of guys. Yeah. Savage Crush 425, pretty good.
Hazy O 4 even.
Wow.
Delightful. 7-1 alcohol.
Toxic Earth, make my stomach spoil with a 375.
Time to pair that with a Tampa Bay Lightning loss.
Yeah, most likely. Even though they cut the deficit down 1.
Nice. Well, I'm going to go find some sleep. Gents, Schwim, take her home.
Please do, guy. I don't have a quote, but I have a hilarious picture. Look at this drawing. Somebody, this is something.
Yager!
Move it. Look, can you see this? It looks nothing like him.
That's terrible. Yager bombs, baby. That's how we end it.
My God.
Happy birthday, Yogs. Love you.
Happy birthday, Yogs.